I'm Amanda L. Grossman from moneyprodigy.com, and I am also the recipient of a Plutus Foundation grant. I used my grant to create the Mount Everest Money Simulation, a kids' educational adventure. I focus on partnering with mothers who may not feel very confident with their own money abilities to teach their kids and teenagers how to manage money before they get their hands on a paycheck from a real job. I am so passionate about working with kids for two reasons. Number one, I have been a personal finance blogger to adult money topics for 10 years. And one of the things that I have found very frustrating and saddening over the years is that I get these emails from women and men who are in these dire straits, very tragic circumstances financially. And if I could have gotten to them years and years ago when they were a teenager, when they were a tween, when they were a kid, then they wouldn't be in the situation that they were in. When it gets to that point, it's really a catastrophe and you're just trying to mitigate the situation. It's harder to get out of that. I want to get to the kids and the tweens and the teens as a preventative measure. And number two, because I feel like there's a real disconnect between mothers and fathers and their own abilities to manage money and thinking whether or not they having that confidence to teach their own kids about money management. And I want to show them that even if their situation has been a money nightmare, even if they've made bad decisions, even if they've made money mistakes, which we all have made, that yes, they are still the ones who can guide their kids down the path to having better money habits and better money management from the get-go of leaving the house. With the grant's help, I was able to bring this program to life, this really cool divine inspiration I had for the Mount Everest Money Simulation. That then also enabled me to not only create the program, but to bring it out into the community to really underserved kids and well-served kids, but underserved in the financial realm. There really aren't a lot of money programs that are out there for schools. Many of our kids are just kind of, going into money management blind, which unfortunately is what their parents did. And since their parents aren't feeling confident enough to really send them down that road, or maybe they don't know enough of how to teach their child systematically to manage their money, then they're still not getting those lessons that they need to get. And so with the grant money, I have reached over 330 kids through the Mount Everest Money Simulation program. One way the Plutus community can help me further my goals is to simply come to my website and share my content. Every single week, I'm creating a blog post for kids, tweens, and teens about how to manage their money, about how to better manage their lives. I speak to parents about how parents can better facilitate their kids learning money management. And just to sort of get that word out, that would be amazing. Let me give it to you straight. When the whole quarantine and COVID situation first happened, I found it very hard to focus on work. I'm a very productive person. I actually grew up on a dairy farm, and you just work all the time on a dairy farm. And so I still worked through that initial month or so where I felt like I was kind of floundering. But I was able to get my focus back and actually get some clarity around how I want to show up in the community, in the financial community, how I want to show up to kids and their parents to help them with their money management woes and to help lead them on the right track because of the COVID and the quarantining and having some time to reflect. Whereas before, even just the commuting that we were doing to get my husband to work and back and things like that, that was like an extra hour to 2 hours a day. And so I had even extra time, even though I do have a 4-year-old at home, and we all know how that goes, working with a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old or an 8-year-old or whatever you have at home. I feel like with COVID and quarantine, I've really been able to refocus on what I actually set out to do several years ago and get in touch with that better instead of just sort of rotely going about my routine like I had been doing. So I have this mission I call it my compound impact mission. And I figured out that if I can reach 33,000 and some change kids, tweens, and teens, now with some sort of money management help, that in the end, in a generation, 2 generations past, that'll be 100,000 people whose lives I have changed. And so that's my compound impact mission, is to reach those kids, those 33,000 plus, and then really start to change lives by prevention, not necessarily when their money situations have grown to catastrophic proportions, like what I deal with on my other blog, Frugal Confessions. Eric has a dream with a $65,000 price tag: to summit Everest. He's asked me to assemble an Everest ground support team to figure out how he can afford this. Our mission is to get Eric to Everest and back without going into debt.
Hello, Everest ground support team. Wow, it's amazing the money work that you guys have done for me to get me on Everest. And now, I'm talking to you from 17,500 feet here at Everest Base Camp. Oh man, that Khumbu icefall is tough. It creaks and groans because the ice is constantly melting under the hot sun. I got a little nervous today. We were shown how to use the oxygen masks, regulators, and the bottles, which means we're getting really close to our actual summit attempt. We encountered a few setbacks on the way up from the South Pole last night. There were 2 expedition teams doing their summit bid on the same day, so there was a bit of a traffic jam up to the summit. I can't believe I'm about to tell you this, but I lost my footing on the way down from the Hillary step and fell. So I need to know how I can afford this rescue. This is my last dispatch to you all. This is Eric. Over and out.